This podcast from Axis Publishing and Distribution, LLC. What up, and welcome to episode 13 of Dubs Wanders. And so in this episode, it was actually recorded a couple of years ago, so there's been a delay in the delivery of the content. But in this episode, I sit down and I chat with Chi Meechieono, and we talk about relationships, talk about content creation, we talking about showing up. So hopefully you enjoy this. There's some references to things that are coming up that are already in the past, so you're going to have to ignore that. But enjoy episode 13, Dubs Wanders with Chi Meechieono. Chi Meechieono. The Dubs Wonders Podcast, chronicling the adventures of Don West Jr. This week's guest, Chi Meechieono.
What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? I'm Don West Jr., and I am the founder of Knock Out the Stigma, and I'm also the creator of the Wellbeing Toolbox and the Wellbeing Exchange. And there'll be more about that to come. And I am so excited, so honored, so proud. I am a proud papa up in here. I'm like Yoda, and this is Luke Skywalker moving stuff with her mind. All right, here it is. It is the one, the only. I don't even know what I'm going to let her introduce herself because I don't know what name to call her because I got her on my phone as one thing, and I know she don't want me to call her that. So, what is your name, lady? Tell the people who you are. Say hello.
So, hello from Florida. I am Trenice J, the proud founder and CEO of Pretty Rich Buttons. In addition to Pretty Rich Buttons, Pretty Powerful Consultant. I teach overworked service-based business owners how to streamline their systems and processes in their business. Long story short, I help them make money.
Make that money, man. Where that? I'm gonna put some money in right here. There's gonna be money flying on the screen.
Right.
Let the money move.
I help them figure out their processes so they can make money the easy way and the smart way.
Very, very cool. So that's what's up. So I'm going to tell them why we're having this conversation. It's going to set up a couple of questions, and it's going to give some background why we're having. So this is what happened, world. This is what's going on. So I said, I have a reminder on my computer. The computer says I have something to do. I say, I don't know what to do. And more importantly, that word at the beginning of that to do, I don't know how to say that word because people, the word is in the French, and me and French, Dubs and French are like fire and ice. It just don't get along. So anyway, I had an assignment to do. I know I have an assignment to do. I know who the assignment's for. I'm going to do the assignment. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do because that's how I'm rolling. Mm-hmm. And so I have to call my boss and I say, Miss Trenice, can you tell me what I'm supposed to be doing? And tell me what I'm supposed to be doing, Trenice.
So you're writing an article. First of all, let me first introduce why you're writing an article or who you're writing an article for. It's called Soigne Swank.
Say it one more time for me because I want to listen to it on the recording.
Soigne Swank Magazine.
And spell it because some people are listening and they're not going to see this. Let me how I spell that.
So it's Soigne. Of course, you have your little hyphen, what is called accent, I'm sorry. And then you have Swank, SWANK.
Soigne and Swank.
And
Soigne and Swank Magazine. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So Mr. West was supposed to be writing an article, which you're still on time. The deadline has not been, it hasn't happened yet. And so, yeah, that's the name of the magazine. And you're writing a piece on legacy.
So I know what I'm writing about, I'm working on my group for tonight. So here's my shameless plug for my group. Every Sunday night at 7 p.m. I do a group about mindfulness and life coaching, and we kind of merged it all together, and we're a little group of Jedis. Okay, so Soigne and Swank Magazine, meaning and background, please. What's that all about? The meaning of it. What's the background? How are you making a magazine? Tell them that.
So, first of all, this is not my first go around with the magazine. I actually produced a magazine, I want to say in 95, 96, called Teen Times Today. It was written by teens for teens. And we had a great opportunity in Miami-Dade County Public Schools and throughout, and we were issuing the magazine for free. I kind of like transitioned from that, and I always wanted to come back to it and do something on my own, and didn't know what it was. And so when this whole pandemic happened, I was like, this is a perfect time with everything that's happening in the world to kind of produce content that is for us, by us. And so Soigne and Swank was born. So a little backstory with the word Soigne and Swank. I had a cousin who had a business, and she just gave up on the business. And I thought, this is an opportunity for you to do things in our culture. And I knew she used the name Soigne. So I was like, if I ever do a magazine or anything dealing with and culture, for the culture, I wanted to use Soigne. Soigne means a couple of things: very well, elegant, groomed and sleek. And if you really look at the word soigner, I want to say it right, soigner, it means take care of, right? And so swank, people say swank, like people say swank more slang based, but if you look at the word swank, it's stylish, it's luxurious, it's what I want to say, the behavior, the talk, the display of class, and the intent of. So
oh my goodness, you are giving me stuff that I don't need to have in my portfolio, girl. I don't need to be able to tell people that I am the Soigne and Swank legacy guy. I don't need them to know that. They don't need to know that, but now they gonna know, girl. Now they gonna know. Keep going. So I'm sorry.
We wanted to talk about, for the culture, the wealth, things. We didn't want to be another tabloid based magazine where we talk about just celebrities. We want to highlight, not just wealth, but things that are happening for the culture, the knowledge that's taking place, the achievements that are happening. So like for a good one was, I want to Waka Flocka Flame. He actually got a honorary certificate or doctorate, if you will. And so that was something we want to highlight, because that's not something that's often talked about. Or how Busta Rhymes took his son to college, and he kissed him on his forehead. That's not something that's talked about. But what is talked about is when they fall, or if something negative is happening, as well as their achievements. So we want to talk and display those things, as well as just loving our culture. And that's how Swank was
that is really, really, really cool. I'm all about that. And by the time this video airs, it will have already happened. But this evening at my 7 o'clock Sunday group, 7 o'clock on Sundays, Wellbeing Jumpstart, we're talking about things that I'm pulling out of Black metahumans are kind of my thing. I'm into Black metahumans. So, over my shoulder, you can't see them right now, and I'm not going to turn my thing and mess everything up, but I have the Falcon. Black Lightning was the show that I'm using to pull from for my lesson tonight, and it's about embracing your power and teaching the next generations about their power. So everything you're talking about is right in line and right and step with what we're talking about. And it's like, we honor those we love, and we're loyal to their memory, right? And we do that. That's what we have to do. So anyway.
So yeah, that was just how it was born. Now, I don't think we knew, and now when I say we, it's not just me. Yeah, I could not do this on my own. So it's Miss Lynnecia Eley, who also is a dean at Georgetown University. I do this full time, and I don't think we knew when we started the magazine. We had an idea, we had a concept, and we just went with it. And I don't know, it went so fast, so quickly.
Say the dean's name again so they know who you're talking about, so they can catch it. Say the dean's name.
She is Dean Lynnecia Eley. She's a professor and a dean at Georgetown University.
Very
And
cool.
so when we started this journey, I don't think we knew what was going to take place. We just had this vision, and we just reached out to everybody we knew. Was like, can you write for us? Can we write? We can't pay you, but can you write for us? And it was like, okay. And so a lot of people jumped on board. And as you know, in business, a lot of people jump on board, but not everyone delivered. And so it went pretty fast, and we're growing, and it's to the point now that we are going to start looking for interns and hiring, because it's so much, and we love it, and we're excited about it. And we wanted to cater to the culture, but we wanted to bring out our small business owners and mid-sized business owners that don't have the opportunity or the funds to advertise in a large magazine. And so this is my plug.
Go for it. Ding, ding. I'm gonna get me a graphic that says "plug coming now."
Plug coming down, right across the screen. So, this is my plug. So I want to say this to all business owners, small business owners, mid-sized business owners. We heard your cries in this process, and we made this entire process for the magazine easy. Like, you can afford to now advertise in a magazine. And we have a small business area where you could put your business card. It's $45. You can't beat that. So if you are interested in advertising inside of our magazine, we do have other ads, by the way, but I wanted to highlight that because so often business owners think they cannot afford it. And so the magazine website is Soigne Swank Magazine.com. And also we're on Amazon as well. So
spell it for them one more time, just in case they ain't get it.
SISOIGNE. Swank is SWANK magazine.com.
Very, very cool. I'll put it up and let them look at it so they can see the front page and the page. So you said some really important things, and I don't know which way I want to go with it, but I'm going to go all the way back to what's supposed to be the beginning. This is how I like to begin my chats, but you got me so excited, so off kilter. I can't even get my blocks right. I'm messing up the whole thing. So anyway, tell everybody how we know each other. How do you know me? Why do we even have a relationship? Because a big thing that I'm trying to highlight for people is relationships. So how do we know each other?
So, oh my God, let me think. So I think it was 2000.
This is a test. This is a test.
Know, this is something I want to say. Okay, so when I was graduating high school, you and my cousin Clement was graduating 1999, I want to say.
Well, Clement is the big brother, the very mature law student who went through law school like a grown ass man, and he was very serious as he approached it. And I was the one that was coming. I was a year behind Clement, and I wasn't as serious as. But your cousin is a bomb attorney. He was a very serious and diligent law student. Set an extremely good example. You knew when he said that he had somebody that he wanted me to talk to, that was you. Because of the way that he carried himself and the way that he handles his business, I said, I'm going to make sure I do this right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we were introduced by my cousin Clement. And
what up, Clement?
I can't even remember why, actually. But I do remember once we got to talking and I found out, the things that you did. And I was talking about, some of the things I inspired to do. And it kind of went from there. And we've, the next thing I know, I had a whole office on South Beach. Do you remember that?
I do.
I actually took that business, sold that business, and put myself through school. I went back to school. And we've just been in contact ever since. So I've been giving him my wild ideas and just stuff that's just been like, what?
So legacy and branding, that's a big thing, right? So this is an important factoid, historical fact. My eagle crest, my eagle crest that my creative director, he hates my eagle crest, right? Every time I go to do a project, I send him all the artwork and he tries to change my eagle crest every single time. He hates my eagle crest, but that's my brand. That's my icon, so that people recognize me. And Trenice and an artist that goes in one form by Angel hooked me up, and they created that crest for me like 14-15 years ago. It was a long time ago. We've known each other a long time. So thank you and bless up for being a part of my crest, a part of my legacy. Everything that I do, I put my crest on it so people see it all the time. Now they know. Now they can go and they can listen to the podcast, and they can listen to it on wherever they listen to their podcast, or they can watch this on YouTube and they can say, oh, that's where that damn eagle came from.
Yes, Chris did an amazing job. I think you just told him something you conveyed it to him, and that's what he came up with. And it's been amazing. I like the color you switched it to. I like that.
Well, thank you. So you said a couple of really, really dope things, and thank you for giving people the background, because I want people to understand about relationships, about networking, because that goes into what you were saying. And so the legacy lesson here that your talk has pulled out for me, delivering the goods, right? You said you reached out to a whole lot of people, and a whole lot of people said yes. They were like, oh yeah, I'm all excited, I'm in, I'll be there at 9 a.m. right? And now I'm going to put up a picture, and I'm going to put up a picture of me and all my superheroes, right? These are my ambassadors, my peer support superheroes. This is my team. And what they do is they show up for me at this event in 2018. They give up their Saturday and they put on their green t-shirt and they show up. And what people did for you is they showed up and they delivered an article. Oh, yeah. Tell a little bit about that experience. What was that like trying to herd cats?
So, I don't know if the vet is the word, but I do get it. Like, coming in, I knew that it would be difficult a little bit. I knew that, sometimes one of the things, let's talk about relationship right quick. I've built relationships over years with a lot of people, and I knew if just certain people, if I called on, they would deliver. And there was others who stepped up and said, hey, I got it. And then they dropped the ball. That process, for me, it's just like when you go other places and you work in a job, you hope they show up for work, right? You pray to God they show up for work, but it's not always that way. It's not always that way.
Please let Carl be here today, because
let him be
the only one. He the only one. Well, please let Carl be here.
And then so if Carl dropped the ball, you got to be ready to step in. So me and Lynnecia were ready to step in, and we did. And we did a soft release for this magazine. The actual magazine don't release until January 2021.
So I have an article in the soft release. I just for the record, I have a receipt. I delivered the goods. My article was in there. It was on the election. It was my thoughts on the election. And because it's a new magazine, an introduction to me and my journey, so people know who the voice is that they're listening to, so they understand my point of view. I'm sorry. I'm surprised. My mama said, baby, you gotta let the other people. That's great. That's my mama's voice. She don't sound like that, but that's how I say it when I repeat it. You gotta let the I'm supposed to get a puppet or something for my mama to make the show more interesting. My mama said. My mama said, stop all that damn cursing.
Oh my goodness. So that process was interesting in itself, but again, we were ready. We came in with the mindset, hey, if nobody right, we got to do it, because the vision is ours. You got to understand something. Relationships are great, but when the vision is your vision, not everybody understand that vision. They don't actually see what you see. And so we were ready out the gate to say, hey, if we got to write, if this is going to be a short magazine and we got to write 10 pages ourselves, that's what it is. That's what we were. And
but it's going to happen.
But it's going to happen.
No matter what.
No matter what. And so that's not actually what happened. What actually happened is people actually started delivering. Thank you. And so we did do some writing, and interestingly enough, we reached out to a lot of people to do interviews, and a lot of people did say yes, but I think because we're new, they kind of held back a little bit, which we're not upset, because you will see us.
You will
won't have a
see
choice.
us,
You will
and
see
you
us.
will know my name.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's hard. It was like, okay, we do want to do this interview, but we're not sure. And the people who did the interviews with us was very grateful. They have advertised us like we didn't even have that expectation. We just knew we had a vision, basically.
Well, I think that's super awesome, and it's about expanding people's voice, empowering people's voice, sharing content. That's the word that I wrote down that you said, content, right? So listen up, everybody who produces content. You need to listen to this lady because she's aggregating, she's putting together an agreement to consult with Knock Out the Stigma to create a well-being magazine to help us with that. So thank you so much for agreeing to help us with that, Trenice. So Well-Being Now is coming your way, a magazine, Well-Being Now, it's coming your way. And so producing content, building a platform, expanding yourself. If words like YouTuber or YouTube show or podcast or digital magazine or ebook, this lady is the one you need to be getting to know. Okay, so you're an author. Talk about that piece.
So this is my second book, Power Hub.
Oh, here's my graphic. Plug coming now. Hold on. Plug coming now. Let me play my graphic. Okay, go.
This is my latest book. Is called Power Her Up. And
Power Her Up.
Power Her Up. My
Power
first
her up. Look at that. Look at that. Padawan. Look at you, young Padawan. Show me your books, Padawan. Go on.
So let me go back for a second because I want to give some advice to somebody who's watching this. Don't think things are possible.
Dream the impossible. Dream the impossible.
Yeah, dream the impossible. I did a lot of not just building relationships, but I did a lot of let me try this. Let me try that. Let me see what is my niche. And I want to say to somebody who's probably on their third business that don't give up. Maybe that's not your niche, but you will find it. And you are going to have people that are going to be naysayers. Keep building your content. Keep building your content. You are great. Some people don't see your greatness. They don't see your vision. Don't expect them to understand where you are because you are going to meet somebody like Mr. West who you could tell all your crazy ideas to, who see what you see. And then you are going to meet somebody else that doesn't connect to them. So don't give up. Now, that's exactly what my book is about. It's very raw, right? So my first book tell you like what you need to get started. This book is raw. When I say raw, it's like get your shit together, raw.
That's what I'm talking about. Get your shit together, kind of. We're gonna put that on the Well-Being Exchange. You're gonna be one of our next featured practitioners because we need some get your shit together. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Get your shit together. And it doesn't, and listen, my book is not made for, it's made for whoever want to get their shit together. Let me just put it like that. And that whether you are,
you're saying it's not just for, it's like Secret, it's not made for a woman.
No.
So it's a binary book about getting your shit together.
You could be at the basic level and you could be at the level where you feel like I'm making 6 figures. But listen, you are going to learn a lot in this book, and it's just dry and cut. Like and one of the things I talk about in the book is like on TV, they make this shit look so good. They don't ever talk about the stuff that happened, the 10 businesses they went through, the bankruptcy they went through. All you see is, oh man, everything is booming from them right now. Everything is happening right now for them. They don't ever tell you the backstory of how they actually start booming.
How you gotta what they call fake it till you make it sometimes, and you're not really in a serious position of security, but yet you're presenting one anyway.
And you think they got it, and they don't, because they're not handling their business. Right.
Because you just never know people. One day you're going to read a book and you're going to find out that the person that you thought was this was just doing that, but they were helping you or they did something for you, even though they were in a different situation in their own journey. Because you never know where somebody's at. That's part of it in terms of how you look at things and how you look at people. And then if you're doing it on your inside work is you got to know when you're doing real and when you're doing like a little front to move forward and not buy into the bullshit. Don't buy into your own bullshit.
And so for me, it was for me, writing this book was not just mindset based, because I talk about one of the quotes I use, your beautiful mindset is your power. So if you don't believe that you're gonna get there, you won't get there. But if you do believe, that's called manifestation, by the way. If you do believe, you believe it, use it, and master it, you are going to power up. Period.
What? Power it up. Power it up. You hear it right now from Trenice right there. She's telling you, go ahead.
So you're gonna power up, period. And so even though I wanted to I teach everybody, first of all, but I want to talk to women specifically, because so many times we get in this thing that we are now in this era where we feel like we don't have to do anything. We just don't have to do it. And if the pandemic didn't teach you nothing, it should have taught you need your own money, your own source of money, because everything ain't guaranteed. So, but that's another conversation.
Passive residual incomes, preferably things that have an strong e-commerce component to them. So check it out, Padawan. This is what's going on. December 15th, I'm dropping a free 7-day masterclass. I'm calling it Nurture Your Platform. These are all the buzzwords: platform, producing content, YouTube show, podcaster. If all those things are what you're about, coaching, teaching, mentoring, if you have all of that, magazine writing, authoring, if those are the things that you're dreaming about, December 15th. And Padawan, I would love for you to do one of the modules in the 7 days and drop some of the knowledge for the people, so we can talk about that more offline. But that's what's coming, because we got to power up people. You got to nurture. It's called Nurture Your Platform. 7 free days. If you like the way I'm doing my thing, see my platform. So I'm going to give you a little insider. This is insider secret information between Yoda and the Padawan. You guys ready to hear this conversation? Check it out. If you haven't figured it out, I'm calling myself Yoda, but that's okay.
I know.
We'll talk about that in the comments. So, so you got to have a mentor, right? And so I have a mentor. I have multiple mentors. I have scores of mentors. I'll shout them out at some point, my list of mentors. But I was told this by a mentor. I was given an assignment. And the assignment was this: get your act together. Those exact words. Get your act together. So thank you for coming to my act, Trenice. This is the Don West Show, and this is what Don West Act is about, right? I had to get my act together in every single way. It's a holistic thing. That's what the 8 dimensions of holistic well-being are. You have to have your act together in all of those, and then all of a sudden manifesting, dreaming the impossible, manifesting. Then you have a brand, and you have things to wear, and you have, we're going to get this really cool pin, because everybody likes to wear pins these days. We're going to get a pin. It keeps coming in and out like it's a special effect, but it's just my lighting not working right? But we're going to get a pin that says, "We are not alone," right? So now my act is together. I have a platform. You helped me with that. You helped me get my act together by giving me a place to put an article every time that I write an article for the magazine. And I'm looking for my soigner. I'm horrible with the French, y'all. I'm horrible with the French, but this is a shameless plug. Soigne Swank Magazine. It's fire. It's fire. I've read some of the other contributors. I'm a regular contributor, Don West Jr. You want to find me? Find me, Soigne and Swank. So it's about all those things, and it's about teaching. So thank you for teaching. That's what it's about. Thank you for teaching.
I wanted to I didn't even tell you guys where to get my book, but I am on Amazon. Power.
Who was the host of this show? That person is horrible. They do bad work.
No, you know what? Let me tell you something. That's the beauty of content. You put your shitty draft out there and you keep it moving. Right?
So can I give them another little plug right where to tag along what you're saying? So if you want to be a YouTuber, you want to have a YouTube show, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a speaker, you need to do it. Do it for free. Do it often. So writers write, YouTubers YouTube. If you only have 3 YouTube things on if I go to your YouTube channel and you only have 3 YouTubes on there, telling me that you're a YouTuber, I'm going to have to look at you with the side eye like. And then I'm going to listen to you for a couple more minutes because my time is valuable, and I'm going to have to excuse myself. But you need to have 35. This is a little metric you need to know. You need to have 35 YouTube videos on your channel before algorithms will even start to look at you.
Oh, wow.
right? You have to have 35 videos. So what is the point? Bang a video a day. Bang, bang, bang. Has it been a month? Do you have 30 videos yet? My mother and my niece and my sister have a YouTube channel. I'm coaching them with that. They're doing an amazing job. They just did a video at their 30th video. They reviewed their first video. So you say put that shitty content out there, put it out there raw, and then get the number 2, review and make adjustments. It's part of the formula, seniors formula for success. Analyze the data, but you got to make data. You got to create content. Tell them, Trenice, tell them what they got to do.
So you got to put your shitty draft out. You know what? I heard that off a podcast. I was listening to, and I can't remember who said it, but she said, put your shitty
Hold
draft.
on one second, Trenice. I got somebody coming in. Sorry about that. I will.
Oh, you're great. You're great.
Where were we? Bring me back to my I lost my moment.
So no, I was talking about the shitty draft and you know, go back.
Putting it out there.
Put it out there and then go back and critique yourself. That used to be my thing. I used to never want to go back and look at things and be like, oh, I should have did it this way. I should have did it this way. But you know what? You are who you are, and you're gonna find that people will resonate with you with your shitty draft, because it's like normal in this human interaction. So
just like if you were sitting in the cafeteria at lunch in 3rd grade or sitting at the bar when you're 25, somebody's gonna like your vibe.
Yeah. So that I think that's the number one thing that I think that I've learned over time. Just like you can't, I used to be like, oh, it gotta look like this. Oh my God, I need these colors because these are the colors that speak to people. Nobody looking at that shit. Like, it's me, the perfectionist in me. So if you can get out your own way, you will make money. You get out your own way and just start putting your content that people are going to see you grow gradually. And that's the beauty of starting with your shitty draft.
No, you have to start somewhere. So start where you're at and just start doing whatever. So first of all, my buddy Cedric Hardman, the guy over my shoulder over here in the shoulder pads, his name is Cedric Hardman. And on YouTube, there's a Hall of Fame speech where he says, if you want to be great at something, his instructions, if he's saying he's at the Hall of Fame, so listen to the guy. If you want to be great at something, sit still. That's the first instruction. Sit real still. And then focus on what it is you want to be. If you want to be a great lawyer, if you want to be a great accountant, if you want to be a great author, if you want to be a great YouTuber, if you want to be a great blogger, you want to be a great cook, you want to be a great lawn care professional, whatever it is that you want to be great at, think about it real still and the steps and the things that will come to you. And then you have to go about the business of being serious about the business of being about it. So if you tell me you cut lawns, how many lawns did you cut yesterday?
Right, you should know.
If the answer is 0, you ain't serious.
You ain't serious. Yeah.
So if you make content, if you paint pictures, how many pictures did you paint yesterday? If you write stories, how many stories did you write? You get the picture. I don't have to beat the drum.
Yep, that's true. You can't have, you can't say you're a YouTuber and you got 1 video, like, or 3 videos. You're not a YouTuber. You're a sometime-er. And
the more I try to make it my business to being a content producer, the more I see that my day is nothing but content opportunities.
Oh yeah. It's too much things going on with that. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord, for coffee. It's amazing. Thank you.
Who's gonna bring me my coffee? Where's my coffee? Hello.
So yeah, I worked last night and then I worked today, so it's been interesting. I wanted to talk about the podcast, because I know you have a podcast as well, right?
Yeah, so tell me about your podcast. What do you talk about on your podcast?
So, one of the things I had to decide, and I'm talking to somebody, I know I am, is that—
Talk to him, girl. Tell him.
I had to give up my baby for a moment. So it's called Her Bread and Butter Podcast. And I had to decide, both of them are equally good, but if you focus on, wait, let me give you the Clement example. My cousin always say this: if you're doing too much, then you won't accomplish nothing. So I had to put my baby down, but it's called Her Bread and Butter Podcast, and it's a snippet. We in a society that everything is quick. So just a quick back to my book real quick, is that it's only 100 and something pages because people don't like to read. We're more into audiobooks now. And so I didn't want to give a whole bunch. I wanted to break the book up. And that's what I did in the series. And it's the third one coming. And the same thing I wanted to do, I'm doing with Her Bread and Butter podcast that will be back in January 2021. Again, it's called With Chi, which is me. If you don't know me, my other name, my pseudonym name is Chi Meechieono. And so Lynn is, of course, Lynnecia. So we call it's Her Bread and Butter by Chi Lynn. And
that's dope. Wu-Tang
yeah,
up in this piece.
yeah.
Wu-Tang.
by Chi Lynn. And so again,
Shaolin is forever. You should make a bumper sticker that say Shaolin is forever.
I know that would be cool. So we wanted to talk to women in particular who are either in business, thinking about starting a business. We want to talk within a 30 minute type thing. We started off at 45 minutes, but we know people don't have the tolerance like we used to back in the 80s and the 90s, listen to stuff. So
like I be forcing people to do it, my long ass conversations, but if they're interested, they're gonna get the blessing. If you're gonna get the blessing, you're gonna stay around and get the blessing.
And so yeah, we want to talk to women, and we're going to talk to them about their business, where they are, just not just business, but maybe they want to go back to college, maybe they want to do other things, and how does that translate into you moving to the next step? Is what Her Bread, and it's called Her Bread and Butter because I do this every day, and this is my bread and my butter. Like if I don't work, I don't eat. And then what the Bible say? If you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah. So this is my bread and butter. What's your bread and butter? What are you doing to get yourself to that point where you could say, hey, this is my bread and butter. This is how I take care of my family.
Well, I hope you're able to come and help us out with the Nurture Your Platform event, 7 days. Do you want to make your platform your bread and butter?
Right. I mean,
it's a serious question. You see those eyes? That's when I'm giving you the eyes right now. Do you want to make your platform your bread and butter? The lady with the bread and butter podcast. Hello.
And you know what's so funny? I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do this magazine. I'm not gonna worry about it until the crap popped up on number 1, and we was like, one podcast is on number 1. Maybe we should do our podcast again. And we kept going again. Shitty draft. I can't explain to you. And some things just happen the way they line. Our universe aligns it the way it happens. So we'll be back January 2021. Her Bread and Butter podcast. You can find us on Instagram. We don't have a website just yet, but I'm super excited about it. And you know what? I feel some kind of way. I didn't even talk about my business partner book, but this is Lynnecia's book. We didn't just pop in here and decided to start doing things. This was over years.
They come in with receipts and books and all kinds of stuff.
This is over years. So between us, oh my God, certifications and degrees is ridiculous. But we've actually certified coaches as well, business and personal coaches. And we don't even advertise that part of our business because we do know that it's not for everyone. You know what I mean? Like we want to talk through this magazine. We want to talk to specific people. We're not advertising as coaches. We're not advertising as business. We just provide a platform for you. So if that, we got health and wellness in that platform, but this is Lynnecia's book. It's called Birth with the Purpose. I'm telling you, it's all that. It's all that. And so
you're nurturing your platform and giving birth. We're using the right words right now. Go on now.
So I wanted to
cross promote.
Yeah, I wanted to promote her stuff too, because I definitely think I could not do this. Listen, I keep saying this and I will say this forever. I could not pull this off without her, without you and a whole bunch of other people. It's because this is our for the culture, but this is more for we speaking to a set of our people who would otherwise getting spoke. Like we talking about Down syndrome and one of our things coming up for the next couple of issues. We're talking about depression. That's now starting to come up often, but no magazine was doing that. No magazine was doing that for our culture. Nobody is talking about cervical cancer. So we talking to professionals. We talking to celebrities. We talking to everybody that's going to talk to us.
That's going to be great. We're going to have you guys as like a regular segment on our I got a lot going on, because once I figure out how to do something, I do a lot of it. I'm about scaling. I don't know who that guy 10X is. Everybody running around talking about 10X. I'm talking about 10X. That's not enough. But anyway, me and my FSU colleague Ali Moore are doing a podcast called Your Wealth Matters, right? And Your Wealth Matters is really about how do you build that sustainable, passive, recurring income, and how do you pass that on generationally. But that's not the important thing. All the things that you and I are talking about in this conversation are the wealth. That's the invaluable knowledge and the invaluable assets of our family, of our extended family. The fact that our cousins can hear us have this conversation. If they weren't in the room and they don't read our magazine articles, they don't know what we're talking about, but this gives them another way to connect with us. So that's why cross-promoting your content, cross-creating your content, having content that comes different forms and different flavors and different ways. My articles are a little more serious, a little more formal, a little more Mr. Clement Dean with it. And my podcast and my YouTube is a little more D-dubs with it. So you can get both of the flavors, because I have all of those hats. I got a bunch of different hats that I wear, and they're all within me.
It's funny you say that, because typically what I get is after somebody read my book, they like, I don't know what to think. Like, I could hear your voice saying it when I'm like, get your shit together. I could hear your voice saying it, but I'm just like, is that her for real? Like, that's my thoughts, and people, and I cuss in my book. So I need to let you know up front. I said just how I think it. And I'm real clean right now with you guys, but I want to make sure you know in advance, when you get it, don't expect it to be all corporate and framed pretty. It's just what I think it should be.
It's about getting your shit together. Because see, mom said that's baby, you're not gonna be able to reach the people if they can't. I said, look here, if they can't hear me, they're not meant to hear my voice. Right? Because the people that know me and have known me for 30 years, the people who know me for 25 years, the people who know me for 20 years, they think I'm pretty dope, and they hear my authentic voice. And my authentic voice is a sailor and an athlete, and I curse a lot, right? I use it as a part of my expression. So when you take that away from me, it's like saying, okay, go build this house, but let me have your Phillips head.
I haven't, for me, that's my thoughts. But I don't verbalize it all the time. I guess that I should, because that's my thought. I'm like,
that's about finding your voice, voice.
And when I deal with my clients, I talk just like that. I'm like, listen, you wasting your effing time. Like, that's it. You wasting your time. Why are you wasting your time? You know what I mean? And so it's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, because if I don't give it to you like that, then you don't understand what time you're wasting on something when I'm telling you there's no money in that process. You get what I mean? Like, you don't have a plan. Where your destination? You just riding. You just driving along, no plan, no destination. Where's the money?
Right.
So, I mean, so I have to say it like that, like, you wasting your effort time. Like, let's keep it moving. And fine, let's get a plan going, and then we'll have a destination, and it'll make sense at the end of the tunnel. And it's like, oh, and then leave off the phone and be like, hey, she rough. No, I'm just to the point. And I when you're passionate about it and you love what you do, it's not going to be, it's gonna be I have no filter.
Right.
I have no filter, except when I'm doing these things. I try to filter out, because I really need people to hear and understand what it is that I love to do. And what I love to do is help people stay in business, make money, so their children can benefit from it at the end of the day. That's the whole point.
What are we do? Are we playing business here? Or are we doing business? You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's, anyway, it's Method Man or Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes says we're doing things for our children's 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 children, right? I'm stacking bricks and laying foundations for people that will never know me personally. Right. And now, because of the mediums we have available to us, I'm going to lay down a digital footprint that they're going to think they're Superman going to see the crystals and going to talk to their great Uncle Donald, because he's got all this content on this thing that they used to use back in the day called the YouTube. and he's all over that thing.
It's gonna be funny to see them doing something totally different. It's like, girl, that's YouTube. What's that?
YouTube is gonna be worse than LP records. It's not gonna come back and be cool, and there's not gonna be hipsters running around with YouTube. That's not gonna come back. But the content will live forever.
It will live forever. It will live forever. And when you put it out there, you'd be surprised how many people find you just looking for stuff, not even Googling you, not even looking for your name, not even looking for your content per se, but it might be one keyword and Higgle the West. Don West pops up.
And so people need to understand, if you're selling something, if you're a professional brand, the top search engine in the world right now is YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's not Google. Google's a beast. It's handling its business. So that Google AdWords, and everybody's always talking about SEO, but you need to be talking about, what is your video optimization? How many videos do you? So I love this. I think of it this way: if you have a video or a mm-hmm. podcast, that's an international salesperson for your company, for your brand.
Yeah.
So whatever it costs you to, if it costs you 20 minutes to make it, because it's a 20-minute video, plus mm-hmm. the time to edit it, plus the time to upload, all the things that it takes. But whatever that cost is, now you just hired a salesperson. That's the cost of a salesperson for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how many salespeople you want in your company? Do you want 10? Or do you want 150 next year? That's the question. You're going to put 10 people in your sales company next year, or 150? Podcasts, books, articles, pictures, all of these things. Another thing is, if you're a photographer, everybody has a phone now in their hand.
Yeah.
Pictures. My mom wrote a blog, and she was the number 3 or 4 blogger in the country before she got promoted to principal, and they took all her time away because time is important. But she got promoted to principal because of the popularity of her blog. It brought profile. It brought a spotlight to her. Mm-hmm. She wrote a book and she did a blog. And the point is that it's the photographs that she used in her blog that when we analyze the data, what was bringing in the traffic to the blog? Photographs. People were looking at pictures, following pictures to see where it comes from, and reading stuff and leaving comments about the source. The picture didn't necessarily have anything to do with the blog, but that it was bringing people in. So understand, do you know how the internet works? You want to go make some money on the internet. Do you understand the basics of how it works? December 15th, Trenice is going to be there. I know she is. She's going to show me up. She's going to show up because she's going to be one of those people, like when she started Soigne Swank Magazine. When she started Soigne Swank Magazine, there were people that were not delivering the goods. And so you want to build a brand, you want to build relationships, you want to build a network, and you want to have an expertise and a reputation for delivering the goods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because build relationships. All your relationships, eventually, they're gonna circle back around, and you're gonna need each other for something. And so,
it doesn't matter if you're on the way up or on the way down. Everything is going to circle back around. You may be up or down, but it's going to circle back around. You know who you are. If you have put me out to pasture one day at the Super Bowl or one day in the bathroom at the Subway, you're going to be standing face to face with me, because it's all going to come back around, and you might need me, or I might need you, and I might have needed you back then, or I might have helped you back then. But we are going to see each other again. That's just how the world works. It just is a big circle of life.
Big circle. And you know what? It's so funny because people don't think that they will need. They just think for the moment. They don't think for the future. And you run around and you say, hey, because that's why I always tell people, be careful how you treat people, because you don't know. You don't know. She ended up being your boss, or he ended up being your boss, or you might need this person for something. You don't know. And so it's important to build healthy relationships, working relationships, so that, one day when you call on that person, they are willing to help you in any way that they can. And shameless plug. So
coming up.
Soigne Swank coming up. So Soigne Swank Magazine is doing since the magazine is new, we are now hosting Wine, Women, and Networking. This is actually the 4th biannual one. I've always done them, but this time around we're hosting, the magazine is hosting it, and it's going to be in the DMV area. I've always kept it in Florida, so this is brand new. Tickets are on sale as well as sponsorship. And so you can go to winewomennetworking.com, buy tickets. purchase a sponsorship package. We've always, this again, fourth one, the last one, 424 women showed up, and we were at
That's
the
amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, listen, we started off 20 ladies, the first one. And I was like, okay, 20 is good with me. Let's drink. We had the wine room. And then the next one, it grew. The next one grew. Again, shitty draft. We didn't do half of the things for the first one that we did in later years. But this is the fourth one. And the last one, 424, showed up to the point the fire marshals were going to put us out. And we were jam-packed. So you're interested, it's winewomennetworking.com. Again, tickets are on sale now. It's April 23rd, 2021.
April 23rd, 2021, winenetworking.com.
That's correct.
That's dope. And so we did a conference a little while back. Is that going to be available on demand for the world?
That is actually Business Friends with Benefits is actually my client. And so I helped put that whole thing together. Again, that's going to be, it's already available. Don.
Send me the link and I'll make sure it's on the screen so the people can hear me drop some knowledge.
I will. I'll send you the link, and then you go to www.bfwbconference.com. You should be able to register to see it. And we're coming back September 2021. We're already in planning stages.
Well, hopefully I didn't get fired, because sometimes, in this virtual world, sometimes you go to work and you go to log in and it says there's a problem with your password, and you put the password in because you drank another sip of coffee, and you go log in and then they say there's a problem with your password, and then you get another email that says your account has been disconnected, and you're like, whoa.
So let me give the people a quick funny story. So while we were doing the conference, right, Don West went on for his time segment, and we had another lady who was supposed to come after, but I tried to push her ahead of Don, but that didn't work out. So she wanted to be the last one. So after Don West got finished, one of the other panelists, she said, she typed in the thing, all right, conference over, that's it. And I'm like, oh my God, wait. She was like, that's it, drop the mic, that's it. Party over, the whole conference is done. And I'm like, hold up, we got another person. And the comments were coming in so quick, like, oh my God, he's amazing. How do we contact him? And then poor little girl, poor woman, she went after you. And I'm like, no, you can't go after the doves. It just doesn't work out.
So I'm going to tell you another funny story and give a shameless plug coming your way. So right now I'm broadcasting from, I'm Harry Potter under the stairs. I'm in the basement of the UUFLB, which is the church where I'm on the board at, right? Mm-hmm. And they're letting me build a gallery here, and they're allowing me to use this as my gallery, and my studio, because that's what we're in. We're in the Wellbeing Studios, right? So so funny. So we're the UUFLB, Laguna Beach, California. Wonderful place. And now I've lost my thought, but I just want to give a shout out and thank them for allowing this to be our headquarters and for allowing this to be the Shots by Dub studio and everything. And now I remember. So when I gave my first sermon, my thoughts be wandering. I'm thinking about dinner. So when I gave my first sermon, you guys are going to learn this when you start becoming YouTubers and podcasters and doing interviews, staying in the moment and staying on your track. But anyway, when I gave my first sermon, it was a 2-part sermon. I gave half of the sermon and I went second. So I had the position that the young lady, she wanted to be last and whatever. And the Reverend, her name is Reverend Lee Marie Sanchez, she went first. And she did like a good job. She like did the thing where you drop the mic, right? Just like you said, right? But then, so she did that and she got all of the adulation that you would get from your audience. And then she turns and she's on a little stool because she's short. So it's actually kind of funny because she steps down from the stool and I'm stepping up and I'm trying to move the stool, and she leans in and gives me the whisper, and she says, "Top that." And it's my first sermon ever. I'm so nervous. And now she's all in my head. I felt like I was a basketball player about to go miss the free throw, right?
Oh
She's
my
all in
God.
my head. It was awesome.
Yeah, so poor lady, she went after the fact. It's like everybody was just like, all right, I don't know what she talking about. All right. But the information that she gave was bomb. It was bomb.
And so honestly, I wanted the recording because her information was on point, and I was half listening, but I was also reading the comments and trying to be responsive. And I know that she had good things to say, so it was really good. My energy is a special kind of energy, so you just got to know what you're dealing with. So if you hire me, if you use all-star speakers, now here's another shameless plug. If you use me as an all-star speaker, because that's what I am, know that if you put me on your agenda, you probably want to put me last, because I'm going to drop the mic, because I'm going to bring the fire.
Listen, Miss Biden was like, oh, party over, that's it. Cut off the light, in the live. Then I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. We got one more person. It was like, yeah, that's over. And people in the comments, oh my God, that was bomb. That was, and I'm like, oh my God, I would feel so bad right now. But
I have aspirations, and you have to speak them into being, right? If you're going to dream the impossible, right? When I was a kid, I used to watch Tony Robbins, and then I would talk about Tony Robbins, and I would talk about all the other people that I was into, and some of them were already deceased, Dale Carnegie, whatever. And then somebody told me there's this guy named E.T., Eric the Preacher, right? Eric Thomas, and he's the number one. He's the number one public speaker in the world right now, according to what they say out there, whoever they be. So all I know is he went to Huntsville, Alabama at Oakwood College, now Oakwood University. That's where he got his degree. So if you know Eric Thomas, you know his story. He's always talking about how he went to Huntsville, Alabama, and he got his degree at Oakwood. It took him 8 years to get a 4-year degree. That's like part of his little thing, 8 years to get a 4-year degree. Well, I too am from Huntsville, Alabama, so I know exactly where he's at. So I hear his story and it becomes very real for me, right? And then I went to Oakwood Academy for elementary school. So I was even in the rooms and walking the halls of the buildings where he was at. So I feel very like it's possible, it's real, it's possible, it's real is what I'm saying. So E.T., you won't be the number one speaker in the world for very long, because you heard I dropped the mic, dog. And it is what it is. It didn't take me 8 years to get any degrees, and I got a shit ton load of degrees and certificates. So E.T., I love you, brother. I have mad respect. I listen to you all the time. You're great. I can't wait for you to come on my podcast so that you can hand the torch off to the next greatest speaker in the world, Don West Jr. I spoke it here. I said it here. Now you know.
Yes. So yeah, that's that backstory, and I was so tickled every time I think
about relationships. She called me from one of her clients. I don't even know what I did. It didn't matter. She said, "Can you do something and can you be somewhere?" And she gave me what my parameters were, and I showed up. What did you say? People have to deliver the goods. Did I deliver the goods?
Oh, you delivered the goods.
I didn't even know all the backstory. So I'm glad your client got something of value because of your relationship. So I hope your client knows that you delivered for them because of I was there for you. I don't even know who I was there for. I was there for you. That's what relationships are.
Oh yeah. So that was just the whole conference was just amazing. You know, and it's the thing. He was like, "Well, I don't know, you know, if it's gonna turn out right." And I'm like, see, that mindset, it's gonna turn out great. Let's just change and shift that mindset. It's gonna turn out great. You know, and he was like, well, and I'm like, listen, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm like, well, you know, he was like, well, you know, this person, I'm like, well, fuck what they think. What do you think? What do you want to do? Like, you got to start cutting that off. So again, we got it together, mind shift. It took a little while, but we shift that mindset, and it turned out more than I thought it would be, because I was like, you know, I really don't know, but we're gonna roll with it.
One of the wonderful ladies at my church, her name is Pat Winger. She's a really, really good friend of mine. And she asked me, what is life coaching? And it's simple. Helping you get out of your way.
Yeah.
You just described helping your client. They were in their own way with their doubts, their disbelief, the negative self-talk. That's what we talk about in our groups a lot. What's going on in your mind? We call it the cave. What's going on in your cave? What's that negative self-talk all about? And how do you switch that around so that you got a cheerleader instead of somebody that's a detractor?
Yeah. And you know what? I found that, and I was talking about this, and I don't know if this is something I might, you know, kind of expand on later, but sometimes we expecting people to cheer for us, and they don't. So what do?
Mm-hmm.
That's that mindset, that shift. You got to start cheering for yourself.
So
You
how
got
do
to,
you fuel your fire? How do you do that? How do you
yeah.
do that? How do you cheer? How do you do that? Tell somebody something that they can do that you do. Tell them from your experience. How do you make yourself keep going?
So wait, first of all, I don't compare myself to any one person or any other thing.
Okay.
Um, I believe in my abilities, first of all. You know, what do I bring to the table? Like, to me, it took me a while to get here, but I bring the whole fucking table. That's my mindset. I bring the table, I bring the chairs. I'm coming with everything to lay the table out. Who decides to sit at the table is a
Hey,
different story.
you know Miss K, right? You know what Miss K says?
What?
Everything you just said, everything you just said, and then you know what else she say? Then she
What?
said, and then I bring 10 bags of chips.
Oh,
10
10,
bags of
10
chips.
bags of chips. So, but I wasn't always there. Okay. I should be like, okay, well, what makes me different than her? That's the comparing mindset. Then it used to be, okay, I could do this shit. Like, if she could do it, I could do it, because this, if she could do it, I could do it. And then it went from, if she could do it, I could do it. Okay, let me get my shit together. Mindset. And then I went from getting my shit together, are we doing this shit? Because I need some money. We doing this. And then it went from, so I went through levels of different things, but I said it to say this. I believed in me. And because I believed in me and I went through those different aspects of believing in myself, you can't tell me what table to sit at. You can't tell me what chair to sit in. I've done the legwork, you know what I mean? And so once you get it,
You earned your seat at the table, so you'll pick your fucking chair.
I'll pick my chair. If my chair gray, I'll sit in that. If it's pink, I'll sit in that. So I said all that to say this, not to be cocky, but to be my own cheerleader. Like, you don't cheer yourself on, who else is going to believe in you? Who are you? I mean, you got to believe in everything that you bring. So if you're not comfortable with that, what, you can't even sell something. Hell, you might write the book, but can you sell the book? Can you tell people what the book is about? So in other words, I got to that point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to write this book. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell people how I got here. And so this book is not just something I just throw together. This is me. This is the things I was like, oh, they make it look so pretty on TV. But damn, nobody told me XYZ. That is not actually like that. You know, so I always go back to my book because it's really how I got real with me. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's really how I got real with me. So don't expect nobody to cheer for you. Cheer for yourself. Know that you're capable. Don't look at what she got going on, because you got to understand, our travel road is different. She might have took the
There's
highway.
7.5 billion different dreamers, 7.5 different achievers, 7.5 plus different people that are doing their thing, and they all started at a different place than you did, every single one of them, because nobody started in the egg that was you.
Right. And I can't compare my story to nobody else's. I can say, you know, you're talking to someone, one, who stopped school for a while, put myself through school. I mean, had a successful business on South Beach, not one office, but a couple of offices, sold that business, put myself through school. So here I am with these little jitterbugs, graduating with a bachelor's. And then, but the typical thing is, you know, you got these expectations your family do of you, and say, hey, you got to go to college and you got to do it how you this way, and they want you to do it this way, but that might not be your story. And
It's really important to highlight. I'm going to beat my drum. We do the shameless plugs. We got to beat the drum when we have a good piece of knowledge. My ink on my arm, the pinnacle of my legacy pyramid, Temet Nose, know thyself. Right? You have to have a secure, deep rooted foundation of who you are and what you are about by your intentional, listen to the words I'm saying, by your intentional choices. Because we can get caught living for other people, doing for other people, pleasing other people, seeking to get the affirmations and the adulation from other people. when we have a brilliant billion-dollar Facebook idea in our head, and nobody's going to tell you it's a good idea until you show them.
Until you show them. And that is very important. That what you just said is important, because a vision that nobody else see but you got to show them. So that's why it's important to cheer for yourself. And if you don't know how to cheer for yourself, when you see others cheering for other people, like, we don't all have the same support, right? So the people that support me in the beginning was not my family. I'm just going to be honest. It was other people who understood my crazy. Like Lynnecia understood my crazy right away. It was like I was talking another language to anybody else. You understood my crazy right away. So you got to understand, don't expect it to be the people you like, oh, Mom, would you support Dad? Because they don't understand. What you saying to them sound like chicken scratch.
There was a very, very famous rabbi. He wrote some stuff. He said some stuff. People dig him. And he was from a place called Galilee. And the exact same story that you're telling is, long story short, you can look him up, figure it out. Nobody in Galilee accepted him or his message. He had to go on the road and take his message outside of Galilee, because they were like, dude, you're the one up the street with the carpenter's kids. You need to go ahead somewhere with that mess. But all I'm saying is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, he's written some stuff and he's famous. That's all I'm saying. And same story. He wasn't accepted. He wasn't accepted. And you're not going to be accepted until you build a body of work that clearly demonstrates and shows. So one of the slides I prepared for my group tonight, it literally is a quote. You can go donwestjr.com/about. One of the slides says, you don't have to talk about it. People will know you're serious by what you produce.
That's important.
And then I put the slide together about what I'm doing with the Well-Being Exchange and knock out the stigma. And then I was impressed, because I didn't realize how much I had produced. Because I'm not talking about it. I mean, I'm talking a lot about it. Actually, I talk a lot. But I'm talking in the process of creating content and being productive. So I'm not just sitting around in a bar talking about how I'm going to be a podcaster and be a YouTuber and make 1 million views like that guy, Sean Cannell, and be a big timer. I'm making the videos and I'm banging on my drum. I'm beating on my drum. I'm beating on my craft.
And that's why it's important to understand cheering for yourself is important for you to move forward. Like I used to in the beginning, I went through all those changes. It's somebody that's starting a business, they want their family to just buy up all their stuff. Let it go. Let it go. It's not gonna happen like you think.
I can tell you a whole hour of stories of anger about people with biological relations not buying books and things, and I thought that was their obligation, but it's not.
It's not. And you know what? It's not that they don't see the value, because you'll be like, okay, why are they advertising her stuff and not my stuff? Listen, your stuff may not speak to them at the moment. Sometimes you have to show people quietly and make those moves and produce that content. And when they see you pop on Oprah, it's like, oh, wait a minute.
I know when you get to be on there with Don West Jr., they be like, oh, she was on there with Don West Jr.
She was on it. That's my sister. Boom. That's
and then
my
he said she was his Padawan, revealing the secrets about how the world really works and who knows who and what knows what.
And you know what? Love them anyway. Love them anyway and move on.
LOVE. Love is the answer. AJ Ali, look it up. LOVE. Love is the answer. Keep it going. That's what I'm talking about. Love is the answer.
So, yeah, that's my spiel on making sure. That's how I decided to cheer for myself. So you can't tell me about my table.
So it's all about, look here, delivering the goods.
Yeah.
On a consistent basis. Just be about it. Be about delivering the goods. That's the message of Trenice J, author, businesswoman, mentor to other business people around the globe. She's put me in conferences. She put me on magazines. She put my logo on my chest, y'all. She made Superman Superman. If you don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth right now, I'm just saying, y'all might want to pay attention. Pay attention.
So I'm getting in the habit, Don, to do more of these with putting myself out there. If you've known me for a long time, I've always been in the background. I'm a quiet mover. I make shit happen. Simple. There's not a whole lot to fix that up. So, but I'm
Well,
starting
they say real gangsters move in silence and violence. So now you also know that she just told you she's a real gangster because she likes to slip in the background and make it happen. So anyway, continue.
Yeah. So now I'm putting
OG.
myself out there more on a different scale now, because I think it needs to be televised, basically.
Hey,
This
this time the revolution will be televised. We're building a movement, ladies and gentlemen. These are my people and this is my tribe. I even have something written down. I got all these cards here. I'm the most unorganized host in the history of hosting, but that's okay because I'm still super dope dubs. Because look here, this is how we're doing it. We got our family. That's our biologicals. We have a family of affinity. I got an article about it if you don't know the family of affinity, but that's the people you choose to give family love to. That's your chosen family. We choose a family beyond our biologicals. That gets us into fellowship. We create fellowship with people. We create clans. That allows us to create allies. We have allies around the world. That creates a movement. This is a movement of change. This is our community, the well-being exchange. That's where you're seeing this right now. That is Trenice J, ladies and gentlemen. She is a change agent. She is a peer support superhero. She helps us be better. She helps me be better. She helps me build and increase my platform. So check us out. We've given you all the shameless plugs. Rewind it, watch it again, listen to it again, get the information. If you didn't have a notepad, a notepad and paper, get it out. Trenice, hit them with a parting shout, a final word, a jewel of knowledge from you to them.
So I want to say thank you for allowing me on your platform to talk about all my greatness and the things that are happening in my world. And
on Wax with the Dubs. That should be a button. On Wax with the Dubs.
On Wax with the Dubs. You know, I want to tell the people how they can find me. So you can follow me on Instagram and like me or my company on Facebook. It's going to be Soigne Swank Magazine, as well as Pretty Powerful Consultant. And that's my ad. And then also, I'm just excited. Like, I'm excited. Like, y'all gonna see this magazine and we gonna keep pushing these things out and support us. You can find the magazine. You can purchase it on Amazon. Look for Soigne Swank Magazine.
Get it on your Kindle.
Yeah, so get it on your Kindle. We'll have a hard copy, hopefully, in 2021 available for you guys. And it's just, I'm excited about what's happening in 2021. We're gonna test some things up. Like, we really
hit them one more time. Tell them real quick, what's the meaning of the magazine? What does that title mean so they know what they're looking at?
So Soigne is very well elegant dressed, or we're talking about one's wealth of knowledge. Swank is going to be display of Swank is one's wealth of knowledge. It's also going to be stylish. It's going to be luxurious. And we're talking about behavior, talk, and a display of the intent of, but one thing I think is important for the entire magazine is that Soigne, it's, when you look at Soigner, it's actually take care of. So we're doing this for the culture, for our people. And I want to say this loud and clear, because somebody said it's only for Black people. No, it's for brown, Black, indigenous people.
That's what's up. POC, people of color.
People of color.
I get it. I get it. You know, we have to give honor, praise, and respect to the land that we all are on, because it's from the indigenous and Aboriginal peoples. No matter where we are in the world, where you're listening to this message, you're on native lands. So we stay warm at night on native lands where they lived their life, gave their blessings, and did their thing. So respect and honor to all of the spirits that have been on the earth that didn't play in this capitalistic marketplace that we're in, but we're here now. We honor them. I honor you. I thank you for being with me, sharing your energy and your spirit with me, being a part of my legacy, because I'm the legacy specialist. Trenice J has given me the Soigne Swank Legacy Specialist title. So now y'all know who is the Soigne Swank Legacy Specialist of the world. Don West Jr., Trenice J, Again, parting shout. Tell them a thought to take home with them so they can have something positive in their head.
So I want to say this. It's important to be you in all costs. Like, do not let somebody water you down. Be you, because you is what we need. Like, we want to hear your authentic voice. We want to see your authenticness. And so with that being said, forget what everybody is talking. Turn off the noise and give us your shitty draft, because I'm looking forward to these new things in 2021, regardless of what somebody else told you what you're not capable of. You are not alone, as Don West Sign says in the back. You are not alone. And so be blessed.
Be blessed. The title of this episode has now been conceived as Give Us Your Shitty Draft. Give us your shitty draft. Please give us your shitty draft. Such a blessing, such an honor. One of my co-creators in life and co-collaborators in being great. I am so honored and so pleasured to have you on Wax, being on Wax with Dubs. I want to make sure that it's the first time I'm going to make this promise, but I'm going to send you some swag, some gear. There's a whole bunch of different ones. I'm going to send you the one that says believe, because that's something that you highlighted in your talk. Dream the impossible. She's going to get the believe the edition, because you got to believe in your dream to put in the work when nobody else is looking, when nobody else cares. Thank you, Trenice. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Be blessed. Namaste.
Namaste.
That was dope, dog.
The Dubs Wonders Podcast. This podcast from Axis Publishing and Distribution, LLC.